did a hit and run on a Mercedes. I get paint. I forced the guy to sell it to me underage. It was all bad. And so like age 13, me and my cousin Jessica were like best friends. We did everything together. So my mom would go out with Jessica's mom. Me and Jessica would sneak out. We would get our scooters and we would leave the house when my dad was still at work and my mom was at the casino. We would go to In and Out down the street, Big Lots. It's sort of like Walmart. So that's what we would do, like almost every single weekend for like 2 years. Then we decided to get stupid. Here's where the real story starts. When I was 15 and I got my permit, my parents bought me a Toyota Corolla. And, we have promises. You won't drive it till you get your license. You bought me a new car, so I'm going to listen. Obviously, I was literally an angel, and Jessica was a freaking devil. She would tempt me to do anything I did bad throughout my middle school and high school life. I blame Jessica, and she knows it, and she would take the blame. Okay, so I had my car. I never drove it. I just had my permit, not even my license. Me and Jessica are about to take the scooters out, and Jessica says like, oh, you have a car, let's just take that. And I'm just like, no. So she's pressuring me like, come on, you have a car, we're really gonna take scooters, like whatever. I'm just like, whatever, let's do it. So don't get me wrong, I knew how to drive. I had practiced with my dad a lot, but still, it's at like nighttime, driving with my cousin Jessica, who's blasting music. She's just doing all these things. So like, we drive to a shopping center with movie theaters, Tilly's, Barnes and Noble, and it was busy. It was like Saturday night park. I'm not exactly sure where we went. I think it was Barnes and Noble's. I'm not sure why the hell we went to Barnes and Noble's because none of us read books. So we're about to leave. We get in my car. I'm backing out and I scrape my bumper, so my front, against the car that was to my left. So imagine there's a car here and I'm backing out and I go like this. It scrapes. I dipped. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't leave a note. I didn't stop to see if anybody looked. Jessica told me to go. I told myself to go. Once we got out, in my head, I'm just like, please don't let there be any scratches or anything. So it was a new car, like maybe a month old, and barely anybody had driven it, so any scratch would have been noticeable. So we pull over on the side somewhere. Of course, my bumper has kind of like this, like small scratches, but a ton of them. It was noticeable. The car was silver. Those scratches were black. Now, in my head, I'm just like, why the hell did I take the car out? Why? We have scooters. We've been doing this for years. We've never got caught. We've never been in trouble. Now, the first time I take my car out, like, of course, something has to happen. So I'm about to tell my parents, and Jessica says that we have to paint it ourselves. We're going to go buy paint. We're going to paint the car, and in our heads, we're going to fool my parents and just act like nothing happened. We get to O'Reilly's. We pick out the paint to buy it, and I says, oh, you have to be 18. And I told him, I said, listen, my car is outside, and I just scratched it without telling my parents. Like, I told him the story, and the guy felt bad. We were able to get the paint. It's like a small little paintbrush, and we're painting over the scratches. I was like, telling Jess, I was like, it looks weird, and she's just like, no, just wait for it to dry. There was even this random guy who was helping us paint it. We go home, and it turns out that we got the wrong fucking paint color. I didn't notice till a couple hours later. I was drying it with a blow dryer, and I'm just like, Jess, this is not the same color, and like, at that moment, we just knew we were screwed. A couple of days later, I just couldn't take it anymore. I think I told my mom first before telling my dad. She was super mad. It made me tell my dad, and like I showed them the scratches, and now we laugh about the story. Now we do. 5 years ago, trust me, there was no laughing involved at that point.